right now it's election day, so we're talking about what to expect today and what it's going to look like. I'm joined now by Chip Washington, radio personality at WLOK Radio. Chip joining us now on election day. So, Chip, two names are coming up, and I want to talk to you about it because every time I have an informal discussion with people, there are two names that come up because I ask about who they think is going to win and all that stuff. And the two
Sure.
names are Paul Young and Willie Harrington. What do you think about that?
Well, based on what I've heard on my radio show, I think folks are kind of right in line with that. I think, honestly, I think there will be four names that people need to pay attention to in terms of who could win this thing. One, of course, is Paul Young. The other is Sheriff Floyd Bonner. Then you have former Mayor Willie Harrington. And let's not throw out Van Turner. So, it's last a couple of polls I've seen, those four seem to be the names right at the top. So, yeah, you're pretty close with this, and it's going to be very interesting at the end of this day to see exactly who comes out on top.
You know, we've talked about those four names, and that seems to be conventional wisdom, but sometimes, we all get surprised and there's somebody else. Is there any possibility in your mind that we will be completely surprised tonight and learn that someone outside of those four will win?
Well, in my honest opinion, no. But I think that J.W. Gibson is someone that that bears watching as well. But quite honestly, Andrew, I really do think it will come down to the top four names that I mentioned, and that, of course, you and I have talked about, and most people are talking about right about now.
Okay, so we get this mayor, this person wins. They have their speech. We have reaction tomorrow. Then what? Okay, do we replace Memphis Police Chief C.J. Davis? What is the first thing that mayor is going to do, or do they support C.J. Davis? What do you think?
Well, that is one of the most interesting and pressing questions that is like what comes next. The people are going to, depending on who they pick tonight, that's going to weigh heavily on the future, I think, of current police chief C.J. Davis. When asked in previous debates whether the candidates would support her to stay or remove her, none of them wanted to really have that conversation until they had a chance to talk to her should they be the eventual winner. But that is going to be one of the major questions that they're going to have to answer. What people really need to understand is the consequences of this race are so important on so many different levels. Law enforcement is clearly one of those issues at the top, Andrew, that we're all talking about because we're all dealing with various issues concerning crime. There's the Department of Justice investigation into patterns and practices with the police department, which sort of starts at the top. So that is going to be one of the first decisions that people are going to want answers to from whoever wins. And again, January 1st, 2024 is going to bring its incredible share of challenges, I believe, to whomever is sitting in that seat and who is going to run the police department, whether it's someone current in the current position or someone new, is one of the first decisions I think will probably be made.
You talk to people every day on your radio show, Chip. What do they want to see the mayor tackle in those first few days, few weeks on the job?
Well, clearly, crime is an issue that many of them have run on because it's the number one issue in the city. As I have stated before, one person can't fix crime. That's just not going to happen. You're going to have to assemble a team to be able to tackle some of the more pressing issues in this city. Crime is number one. The economic base is number two. You have a lot of infrastructure issues that are present. You have academic, educational issues, poverty issues. there's a lot on the plate. And then you have lawsuits that will no doubt be filed, civil lawsuits that will be filed that will be costing the city millions of dollars, no doubt. So, all of these things together are going to make for a very interesting dynamic in terms of maybe the first, I don't know, 60 days, 90 days of a brand new administration. How you go about handling some of these mountainous problems is going to be ultimately, I think, the big challenge for anybody sitting in that seat. But I think that, we're all focused on crime. And a big part of that is the economic base of the city. There are many people who are frustrated with what has happened to them, to what they see on the news stations like yours every night, in terms of the criminal activity that is escalating in our city. So that is one of the top things our folks are, at least the folks that call me at WLOK, want to see addressed as quickly as possible. I can't hear you, Andrew. I think I lost your audio. I think
did
I
you
lost
lose
your
me?
audio.
How about now?
I got you
Can
now.
you hear me now?
I got you.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So we talked about the 17 candidates on the ballot for mayor, and then the four top ones, Bonner, Turner, Young, and Harrington. Out of those, if we take those four and put them aside, what one should we be watching? One or two, perhaps, outside of that four that may have a good night tonight?
Well, that's a good question. I think that, like I said, J.W. Gibson is one that you might want to pay attention to. I don't honestly know if there is anyone else that could bust into that into that category. I do think that Michelle McKissick has run a pretty good and energetic campaign, smart campaign. But maybe her. But again, I think it's going to come down to, and I think most folks, most pundits, I think would think it's going to come down to one of the four that we have continually been talking about. And I keep leaning towards Paul Young or Sheriff Bonner as the top two, because they have consistently been the top two now for a while. But Willie Harrington, as I said previously on my radio show, his name comes up a few times during my show. People think that he can come back and make the great comeback, and they feel that strongly that because of his prior track record, he might be someone who is pretty serious about making some of the needed changes in our city as we continue to try to move forward.
You can't hear me. How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
I feel like a Verizon commercial here. Chip, we finally get to find out who the Memphis mayoral is, the Memphis mayoral position. The winner is here. And so finally we'll be able to actually have some stability in terms of, who and what the city's going to look like going forward from the mayor's position. Chip Washington weighing in for us. Thanks very much. Appreciate it, Chip.
Thank you, my friend.